What's going on, Mixed Reactions? It is the week of the NBA Finals. Thursday, Boston, Dallas. I'm very nervous. I've been talking big shit about the Celtics all playoffs. We have two fans who are going to be my absolute worst enemies the next couple of weeks, but they're also really good friends, Casey Merrin and Justin Duncan. God damn it, how you doing today, Justin? We missed you.
I'm back. Better than ever.
Amen. Better than ever. And we're gonna see. We're gonna see if the Celtics are better than ever, or if it's just or if it's gonna be the Boston another Boston loss. How you doing today, Casey? How you feeling? How you feeling about the Celtics?
I am ready, bro. Like, I cannot explain to you how excited and how revved up I am for these finals, man. It's been a long time coming. As a Celtics fan, it's been
forever.
It's been taking forever, man. And as far as just like coming from a Celtics fan, this layover feels like it's been happening since 2022 when we lost to Golden State. We've been itching to get back to the finals as Celtics fans, and here we are. And I don't know if you boys saw, it's official. Dunks ain't the only one making a return. Kristaps Porzingis active for Game 1.
Hallelujah.
Yep, and Game 1, that is going to be Thursday, June 6, 2024. For all of you motherfuckers that say I'm not specific enough. Obviously, just kind of briefly going through each team's path to the playoffs. Boston 1-5 against Miami. Probably would have got a swept, like if you guys were saying Miami didn't have like the best shooting game of all season that they had.
Franchise history.
Right, yeah, no, I think you mentioned that. I think you said it was in their franchise history. I didn't deep dive into it.
You don't acknowledge.
And that's why we miss you. And then we got, you guys beat Cleveland in 5. Obviously, they had one game where you guys shit the bed. Swept Indiana, which, even though it's Indiana, they won, 47 games in the regular season? I still thought it was an impressive sweep. I thought that you guys were really good in crunch time, going over to the Western Conference side of things. Dallas, first round, we're not going to talk about that one, beat my Clippers in 6. We're just going to kind of recap that. Second round, knocked off the number 1 seed, Oklahoma City Thunder, in 6, correct? I did not have it in front of me. It was 6, I believe. It wasn't 5. I know that. It wasn't 5. I think Oklahoma City went up. No, Dallas went up 2-1. It was 2-2. So
it was in 6.
It was in 6. That series is the one that I almost kind of forget, just because it was Dallas at one point just ended up taking over, and then obviously the conference finals. At that point, America's darling Anthony Edwards. I would say Dallas stole Game 1, and then after that, it was clear they were the best team. Minnesota, impressive win Game 4. Dallas came out and showed that they just play basketball better than the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5. So the stage is set. Casey said it first. Porzingis is in the starting lineup. I'm going to start with Justin. What do you think? And this is such a basic-ass general question, but what does Boston need to do to ensure that they win the championship? Like, what are the keys to victory, I suppose?
When the threes go cold, drive to the hoop.
Pretty much. I mean, if you look at the season, man, like Boston has been one of the most dominant teams in recent memory. When you look at their point differential, they won, 62 games in the regular season?
64, I think it was.
Yeah, Boston is blowing everybody out. I have been one of their biggest skeptics. I've been getting kind of nervous, but now Kyrie and Luka are my only chance to avoid making yet another embarrassing speech on the show, similar to when Alabama and Georgia lost on the same day. Casey, I'm going to just go ahead and transition over to you real quick. I know, you mentioned that Porzingis is active for Game 1. What dynamic in the series is going to change when you have a 7-2, the original unicorn, the original with the nickname Unicorn, Porzingis? What impact do you think he's going to bring?
So the first thought that immediately comes to mind is rim protection. He's one of the best rim protectors in basketball. He's going to create havoc in the lanes, especially for people like Kyrie and Luka, who, albeit are good shooters in their own right, they like to attack the basket, both of them. Kyrie more so than Luka. Luka's developed such a great outside shot that he can fall back to that as well. But it creates such havoc within the paint to have a 7'3" player back there who has excellent wingspan. And This almost sounds like I'm calling him a defensive back when I say this, but great ball skills too, and able to track the basketball to find the pinpoint for the block. Kristaps Porzingis has developed great defensive paralysis in that. It adds an extra element to Boston's offense too, because with someone who's that height,
Yeah.
it's almost an impossible shot to block when he hits his turn fadeaway.
He's
Now,
7'2".
granted, that shot sometimes is in ill effect because it's not falling. I think sometimes Porzingis lacks aggressiveness in driving to the basket, and that kind of plays off with what Justin said, right? When the shots aren't falling, don't be afraid to drive. And I think that's one big thing that the Celtics are going to have to do, because I'm already conceding that one game is going to be an ice cold game for the Celtics, and they're going to lose one of those games. And it gets deeper than that too, because you asked Justin, right? What does Boston need to do to win the series? And I almost thought he was going to say kind of what I said about the first three series. What does Boston need to do to win the series? Is the answer for those first three series was simply show up and be the Boston Celtics. It's going to take a lot more than that to beat this Mavericks team. They have probably top 5 offensively talented NBA backcourt in the history of the league. Like, I don't think that's debatable. Luka and Kyrie are unstoppable players. You can contain them, and that's what Boston's going to have to do. You cannot stop them. They can stop themselves for having a cold shooting night, but
what I would say from a defensive standpoint is Boston has. I mean, Luka and Kyrie are going to get theirs. I mean, it's inevitable.
Yes.
You're not going to stop them. You might be able to slow them, but you're not going to be able to stop them. But you have to make sure that it's only Luka and Kyrie supplying the offense. If you keep away a third option, series is over.
See, this is a series where
Justin kind of touched on what my big point was going to be when it transitioned over to my turn. It's one of those things to where it's like, yeah, like, you know, I was thinking, like, you know, I love the, not intangibles, but the different elements that Dallas brings. You have Lively, who is looking more and more like a stud every day. No lesbian. You have Gafford, who I mentioned it at, when they made the trade, that, that was going to be a big addition. People were laughing at me when I was in the YouTube comments on the Clippers saying people were scared to play Dallas. Well, the Clippers aren't scared of. The Clippers were assigned to play them, you dumbass. They had the 4 seed. The Dallas had the 5 seed. Gafford and Lively, I think they both bring defense. Lively brings that contagious energy. Gafford is going to, I think he's going to present problems for Porzingis. I think that if Porzingis is going to really show what his full potential is, I think that Gafford's going to be the guy to push him to the limit, because Gafford's a great shot blocker and incredibly intelligent defender. He'll grab it from the top of the square on the backboard. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't remember which one. I think it was Justin that said it. Who's Dallas's third option going to be scoring? Kyrie and Luka are going to get theirs. Luka averages 32.
It's PJ Washington. What do you mean? It's
right.
PJ Washington.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, yeah, you're right. I guess there really is another answer. It's PJ Washington. Like, he's their only other legit. I wouldn't say legit, but yeah, they're the other one that can really make a big impact. I mean, we saw what he did against the Clippers. Clippers could have gone up 2-0 in that series. PJ Washington's standing on business. He's been playing big in these playoffs. He's one of those guys to where Dallas has a lot of guys that bring the it factor, but as somebody who's been pulling and actually talking shit about Dallas, it worries me that there's not going to be a third guy that can step up. I mean, but it's also Luka and Kyrie. Like, if PJ Washington can play, como se dice, pretty good, not even great, for his standards, I think Dallas stands a fighting chance. But matchup-wise, let's just kind of go through it. Like, I mean, you're going to look at the backcourt matchup. Derek White, Drew Holiday against Kyrie Irving.
Best defensive backcourt in the league.
They are, but that matchup definitely goes to Dallas.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying. In terms of, Dallas has got the best offensive backcourt, whereas Boston has the best defensive backcourt.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be a great matchup. in that aspect. Because I'm with Kyrie and Luka. They're obviously like Casey said, they're the better backcourt. Like there's been people arguing they're the greatest backcourt of all time, and if
we're going overall, 100%, like even as a Celtics fan, Dallas has the better backcourt overall. There's no question about it.
Yeah, and if we're some people are talking about them being the best backcourt of all time, and if they win, it's just going to add more fuel to the fire. Wait, sorry.
Not all time.
Not
all time. Steph and Clay.
Yeah, that's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, as far as like, I mean, I don't know, man. I think
top five, sure, but not best ever. No way, no how.
I mean, that's fair. And Steph and Clay, they have the resume. I'm not going to sit here and downplay two guys that have 4 championships together and the Splash Brothers. I mean, when I hear the word splash now, I think of Steph and Clay. I don't think of that.
Who doesn't?
Magic and Bruce Bowen.
You said Tony. Wait, you said Tony. Wait, what'd you say?
Magic and Bruce Bowen.
Magic and Bruce Bowen.
Do you mean Magic and James Worthy?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I was kind of. I mean, Worthy. He definitely did play like a
last at Bowen. Wow, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, James Worthy.
But I mean, I think even then, though, like James Worthy, Byron Scott played a lot of the two, but James Worthy did, get the ball a lot. I mean, at that point, he might as well be a guard because James Worthy was getting the ball on the perimeter a lot, being allowed to operate. But as far as two guys that can make their own shot, I mean, we can have an hour debate. I mean, I'll go back and forth with you guys. I don't think there's ever been two guys in the same backcourt that have been able to get their own shot like Clay, or not Clay and Luka, Kyrie and Luka.
No, I agree with you as far as getting their own shot, but that doesn't make them better than Steph and Clay.
Now, and this is kind of more, since we kind of talked about Worthy and Magic, who do you think was better, guys, kind of off topic, Byron Scott or Danny Ainge? Shooting guards for both of those teams.
Good question.
I think they both were great fits. Like
they were great in their own fit for their own teams. I'd probably say Byron Scott.
I would too.
I probably
take anything away from Danny Ainge, but you don't. Ainge doesn't get the attention. Didn't get the attention that Byron Scott did in that day.
Correct.
No, because he wasn't running and gunning, and they had McHale, they had Parrish, they had Bird, but I think Danny Ainge deserves some respect, because he was an essential part of their backcourt. C-Sting was decent, but Danny Ainge is one of those. He was one of those guys. But kind of getting back to the topic, it's like, is this going to be a series that's decided by the stars, or is it going to be a series where we see a role player step up? What do you guys think about that?
If Dallas wins, it's because of a role player.
I was actually thinking the opposite. I think if the Stars win it, I think it's going to be because there's nothing. We don't have any answers for Kyrie and Luka. Because I think if you go to the starting 5, I think the Celtics have them as an overall starting 5.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of I guess I align more with Casey because because I was just having to fucking rack my brain a second ago about who the third best player for Dallas could be in that series. I mean, Boston, you have so many guys aside from fucking Tatum and Mr. 300 million Jaylen Brown. You have Derek White, you have Drew Holiday. I'm never gonna doubt that he could be an X factor. You have fucking 7'2" Porzingis. I kind of align more with Casey. I think that Dallas.
And then you have Big Al Horford.
Yeah, I mean, Al Horford can get exposed in pick and roll defense. Though.
Oh, defensively for sure, but I'm saying, you can always line him for a token corner 3.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And so here's my thing, right? When you go down the best 3 players in the series, sure, 2 of them play for Dallas.
The best place for Boston. I've become a very big guy. I know.
And when you break it down even further, though. Hold on. When you break it down even further than that, though, and you go the next 7 players, for like the best players in the series, I'd say 5 of them are on Boston. Because who do you think is probably the 4th best player in the series? Jaylen Brown. 5th best player in the series,
Porzingis.
Drew Holiday or Derek White. Those are Kristaps Porzingis. My bad. Kristaps Porzingis. Who's the 5th best player in the series? Drew Holiday or Derek White. Who's the 6th best player in the series? Either again Drew Holiday or Derek White, whichever one you put into the slot before. Then you go to PJ Washington.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and I think that you look at the depth of Boston, which that was going to kind of get me to my next point before we kind of jump into a little, because we're going to be talking a lot of basketball on this show, folks.
Well, hold on. I don't even think it's the depth. I think Boston has 8 players that you can play. I think Dallas has a deeper bench. I think Dallas can go deep. I think Dallas can go 9 or 10. Boston has max, I think 8, maybe 9 if you want to. All right, so hold on. Obviously, the starting 5. And then you can play Horford and Pritchard and maybe Sam Hauser off the bench. So, yeah, Boston has 8. I think
maybe
Dallas
Luke
is deeper.
Cornett, but that's an if.
Maybe. I think it's a bad matchup for him in the series. I think Boston at max has 8 deep in this series.
Yeah.
I just think of those 8 players, they have 6 of the best players in the series within those 8. Or 5 of the best, at least.
I mean, if you rate the top 10 or 12 players in the series,
Boston has 7 of them.
Boston has 7, maybe 9 at most.
Yeah,
the top 12.
Yeah, for sure. Let me get a little closer to my thing, because working out with my headset today, folks. That's why I'm kind of a bit testy on the sound. But yeah, no, I'm with you guys. Like, Boston is I guess Kyrie's not going to be number 1, but I guess Luka and Tatum. You can have the debate who's the best player in the series. Top 3.
I don't even think you can. I think it's Luka, and I don't think it's remotely close. I think Luka is far and away the best player in the series. Because look, I'll put it like this: Jason Tatum's a great player in the NBA. Luka is a generational talent. There's a difference.
I have a quick question about Tatum, and it might be getting off track, but if you were to put Jason Tatum on any other franchise, fans like the Lakers, obviously, where would he rank in all-time levels for that franchise? If you put him on the Blazers, you put him on the Raptors, you put him on the...
Fair point. I like
Hornets.
Well, hold on. It depends on where you're going with this question, because he wouldn't be looked at the same for a few reasons, both positive and negative, right? Because if you put him, say if you put Jason Tatum on Portland's roster right now as currently constructed,
right?
They're at best an 8 seed playing team at the very best.
I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying
okay, that's why I wanted to know. Okay.
No.
Do you mean just numbers wise?
In terms of, so there's been the running question, at least locally, about who's the best player in the Celtics. Is it Jaylen Brown or is it Jason Tatum? You can make arguments for either way. I mean, I would lean towards Tatum, but you can make the argument for Brown. But if you were to put Tatum on any other franchise, where would he rank in terms of their all-time best players? Because you can't put Tatum in even the top 10 of the Celtics all-time players right now.
No, God, no. Talent-wise, yes.
But if you put him on any other franchise's roster other than the Lakers, he's at least a top 10 player in their franchise history.
That's why I'm goddamn glad to have Justin back. I think that's a great question.
Maybe not Golden State's.
Maybe, but I mean top 10?
He probably would be, but it'd be the bottom of the top 10.
Fair enough. But again, Lakers, Warriors, or Celtics, he's on the top 10 of all time on any other roster, realistically speaking.
If he wins a title this year with Boston, you could argue him for top 10 just because of the success that he's had already.
I wouldn't put him higher than there's a few people I wouldn't jump him over. I mean,
well, that's why I said it's arguable.
Yeah.
I think with Justin, I think it's a great question. I think it's a great debate to have because, I mean, how many look at how many guys have to wear weird ass numbers in Boston because of how many great we don't have enough time on this show to talk about all the great players that Boston's ever had. Like, I think it's a great question. I think that's a great debate because if you put him on, I mean, I'm not even gonna go to Portland. I'll go to the fucking Charlotte Hornets. Let's go with that. Like, would he be their best player ever? Why not? Like, yeah.
Yeah, he would be.
I mean, they had Alonzo Mourning. They had Muggsy. But yeah, it's like you put him on a good amount of franchises. I mean, shit. The Bulls, he's a top 5 player ever.
Yeah,
Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, and what? I mean, Jordan,
Derrick Rose, maybe.
But I love Derrick Rose, and I mean, it was different. But I mean, look at what Tatum has accomplished. Was it 3 All-NBA teams? He is an improved passer. Tatum gets better every year. I don't know if it was one of your guys. I don't know if it was Sam. I don't remember who it was, but shout out Sam. But one of you guys like a few years ago was like, one of those guys a few years ago was like, oh, Tatum is better than Luka, or like we were having a debate about it. In my fucking mind, I'm like, yeah, there's no way, man. Like, I thought Luka was just worlds above him. And I'm not saying, that he's not.
Luka's better than him. Even as a Celtics fan, Luka's better than him. He just is. You can't be like biased and when you're ranking players.
I don't know, man. Like, I love Luka.
Luka's better.
Luka resembles more of a magician, but that's I think one of the reasons that people get so pissed off with Tatum. They see the potential. I love watching Tatum one-on-one, bro. Like, he's just so elite. But I used to think it was Luka, no question. But my point I'm making is I used to think it was Luka, no question. Now we can – I mean, at least I think we can, at least start to have the conversation. Like, I think that Tatum is –
I'll say this. Jason Tatum, I don't know if you guys get this when you're watching him too. He makes it look effortless.
Oh yeah, that little sidestep shot. Like he looks like he does a good job of controlling,
putting in your full effort. You know what I mean? Like he makes it look like that sometimes.
No, I get that part for sure, but it's like, but at the same time, that's almost like the whole basis of Luka's game. It's like, look how slow he plays. Like, but I don't know, man. Tatum, I really think is like one of those guys to where. Me and Jason have gone back and forth. Oh, Jaylen Brown's better. Tatum's better. Jaylen Brown is not a number one. Okay? Like, Jaylen Brown is just not a number one player, a number one, scorer on a championship team, which is cool. I don't really – I mean, yeah, we've seen Tatum stink it up. We've seen him be a bit streaky at times, but I think that Tatum –
I don't know. Brown saved us in game 1 and then dropped 40 in game 2.
Yeah, but even then, I still go Tatum. But I think that's a great question.
I think Tatum's a better player, but I think Jaylen Brown sometimes doesn't get the credit he deserves. Like, he is if you want to call Tatum the one, I agree with that, and that's fine. But Jaylen Brown is an excellent number 2.
Yeah,
Brown's a top 20 player in the NBA.
Jaylen Brown is like almost the Mike. You know what? I can't even say that was the Michael Jordan of Batman, but then you had Kobe with Shaq. But I mean, Jaylen Brown is one of those guys to where you could put him.
You know what he is?
Huh?
He's Dwayne Wade in 2012 and 2013.
Shit, that's a fucking great comparison because it's one of those things to where you could have the select crowd that like has the argument. I don't really think it's an argument. I think Tatum is better, but yeah, it's like because you did have those select people that thought it was Wade's team, but they thought Wade was the better player. I thought it was bullshit. Just kind of the way I think that Tatum and Brown, or Brown being it being his team is bullshit. But you can at least relatively entertain the conversation. Whereas if I were to tell you that I don't know who's the second best player on a team that clearly has a best player. Like if I was to tell you Maxey is the best, that's a bad example. Maxey's pretty good. But yeah, if I was to say like Maxey's the best, like no, it's clearly Embiid when Embiid's healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about like Clay and Steph kinda?
Right. Yeah, no, that's actually a great example because dude, Clay scored 37 points in one quarter. He scored 60 points on 11 dribbles. But
I made that point last show, motherfucker.
No, you did. I did. I was gonna get to that if you weren't so rude. But, no, bro, I hit you with a rolled up newspaper on the snout. But I think it's a great point to make. I think it's a great discussion to have.
Now,
Just
real
who
quick,
is
boys.
like what Jaylen Brown brings to the table, and I don't know, man. I think this is gonna be a big series. It's decided by.
I think so too. So let's get to the meat and motherfucking potatoes. Ian, who wins and in how many games and how many boys did you kiss this year?
I'm gonna start off with the last question first. 75 and count. Who wins? I got Dallas, and peep this. I got them going into Boston Garden, eating some fucking clam chowder and drinking their fucking dunks. And Kyrie hits a game-winning shot in Game 7 to beat the Celtics. They all go home and they watch the fighter. It's about Mickey Rourke, and they cry. I don't know, man. Something's telling me like Boston's gonna choke again. Like it's something about just I don't fucking know. Maybe it is recency bias. Like because like we've talked about the last 5 shows, it's one of those things to where statistically I can't really give you any reason to guess to why Boston won't win. Like you got me there, but like something about them, man. It's like I feel like people are starting to believe in them again. And Boston, like they're front runners, bro. Like this is gonna be. Now, I will. That's what I'm saying. This is the most pressure-filled series all season. Obviously, it's the finals, but this is the first time Boston's actually going to have some legit pressure. Did anybody actually think they were going to beat Indiana? I said it, but did I really believe it in my heart? I don't really know if I believed it in my heart.
Nobody thought the Pacers were going to beat them.
I did think the Pacers were going to beat them, but then after I watched
you didn't.
Wait, what'd you say?
You did not think the Pacers were actually going to beat them.
You know what? Maybe I was keeping up an ego for the.
You know damn well in the back of your head, you're like, yeah, I'm tripping. Celtics gonna wipe the floor with them in this series.
But I mean, this is the first time. Like, look at what Dallas has won. Do you know what seed Dallas is?
4.
5.
5, sorry.
Yeah, because they were that wasn't big as like but it's just to prove a point. Like they've been the road team every series, and none of their series have gone 7 games. One of them has gone 5 games. So like, and the lowest seed to ever win the championship was the 1995 Houston Rockets. They were the 6th seed. Dallas is everything that we consider sacred, a home court advantage.
So let's put it to you like this, though. And you said one of their series went 5 games, right? And then the other 2 went 6.
So the other 2 went 6, but like
the Celtics they've lost 3 games the entire playoffs. 2. I'm sorry.
2.
They've lost 2 games. They're
Congratulations, you guys played the fucking Heat without Jimmy Butler, which I mean, you guys probably still would have beat the Heat. Mitchell got hurt, okay, and they had no Halliburton. Celtics have been bad, impressive, but who have the Celtics played?
I don't even disagree with that point. I really don't. Like, they've gotten some lucky breaks throughout the course of these playoff runs.
They still not wrong. Series, I think, but they just haven't been tested.
They got lucky, but at the same time, they had to like not choke away games, and they had to claw back into games where they had absolutely no business winning.
Game 1 against the Pacers.
Game 4.
Game 3.
Oh, that's right. Game 3. Thank you.
So you're going Dallas in 7. Okay. Justin, who wins and in how many games?
Celtics in 6.
Damn, so you both have the other team winning on the opponent's home floor.
I want it to be in 5, but I think it's going to take 6.
Okay. See, I'm with Ian in a certain aspect. I think it goes 7. I think this is a coin flip series that can go either way. Because I think Boston's going to choke away a game where they cannot find the fucking net to save their life. I think there's going to be a game where Luka goes off for 50. But I also think there's going to be a game where Jason Tatum steps up, where Jaylen Brown steps up. I think there's going to be a game in here where Derek White hits 6 threes. Something along those lines. All of those are going to happen to some extent, I feel, right? Probably not to the exact extent that I just said, but you know the point I'm getting to. with everything being said, I've got the Boston Celtics winning this series in 7 games.
Will it go down as an all-time series, like all-time great played series, in your opinion?
No, because I think there's going to be 2 or 3 blowouts. I think both teams are going to get blown out once. Like, and when I say blown, I mean I think both teams are going to get blown off the floor one game.
Okay, it's like a 20-point blowout either way.
25.
20. Okay.
Like, I think because when the Celtics are hot and they're Ian, you even said this too. When the Celtics are hot and their threes are dropping, they, by today's standards in the NBA, no team's gonna beat them.
No, but are they gonna fall? But like, they're front runners. We've talked about it before. I mean, Dallas isn't Indiana. Dallas isn't Cleveland. Dallas isn't Miami. Like,
no, but they've played twice this year and Boston's won both games.
With Kyrie and Luka both playing in both games.
I mean, but didn't the Suns sweep the fucking Timberwolves and then got shit on in the play?
I'm not saying that it means anything as far as what's happened, but you said the Celtics are front runners, right? And I don't even disagree with that to an extent because they have their moments where they do that. But what's going to happen in a game where Boston's up 13 and then say Luka turns the ball over, Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown run down the floor and they get a big dunk to go up 15 and it's at home and that crowd's popping. You know damn well that 15 lead is going to turn into a 25-point lead in about 3.5 minutes.
3 defensive stuff is all it takes.
Now, before we kind of, because I know you guys want to, want to touch on a little football as well. Right now, let me go back to the series odds. Boston is -215. Dallas is +180. So essentially, for all you non-betting folks out there, you would have to bet 215 to win 100. If you take Boston, you'd have to bet. Excuse me. You'd only have to bet 100 to win 180 if you bet on Dallas. They're +180. As far as what everybody thinks what the books think the series is going to go, the favorite result is Boston in 5, followed by Boston in 7. Those are the 2 best odds. Dallas in 6, Boston in 6, Dallas in 7, and then a Boston sweep.
Dallas has no chance of sweeping.
No chance of sweeping. No, Dallas is too good for to be swept. This is going to sound weird because I'm not the biggest component of home court advantage matters, but I don't think either team is going to win a closeout game on the road. Like, I think Boston will be up 3-2 in game 6. And I think that might be the game where Boston gets absolutely blown off the floor.
Yeah, and then Dallas, thank you for a great season, and then you're thinking that Boston. Now, game 7, do you think that Boston's going to blow them out, or do you think we're going to have a classic? If you just had a spitball right now.
Classic.
Yes. Classic. Dude, this is what my friend said it the other day on Facebook. Shout out Shandon. Not really sure how to say his name. We're just friends on Facebook. We've been friends for a few years now, so shout out to him. He thinks this is one of the best series ever, and I really can't disagree. Like, I mean, looking at it on paper, man, like we have Kyrie versus Luka.
I mean, is it one of the best series ever, or is it one of the best series in the last 5 years? Like, I think that's a little bit of recency bias.
Okay, I would say last 15 years. I mean, because we go back to 2009, like Lakers Magic, whack. I'm not going to go through every single series, but like Lakers Celtics, great series, great games in that series too. A couple of blowouts with some great games. Dallas, Miami was trash. We're kind of going through here in my head. Obviously, Miami, San Antonio.
Spurs and Heat were classic in 2013. That was a classic series.
If I remember correctly, I know Game 6 was a classic to say the least. Game 7. Game 7 was a really good game. I mean, then you have even with Cleveland and Golden State in 2016 when Cleveland came back.
Yeah, that's absolutely a classic. I mean, coming down
it's a classic, but I mean, if you go back and look, there was a shitload of blowouts in that series. And then obviously KD and them ran it for a few years. Toronto won, Lakers won, Bucks in 6. Like, I can't really think of a more. I mean, we're gonna have to see how it plays out, but the storylines are there. You guys,
the storyline, it's definitely the most compelling series since 2016.
Sure. Now, both of you guys are from Boston, so I want both of you guys to chime in passionately. What is Kyrie?
I'm not from Boston? Whoa, hold up. I'm not from Boston. I support Boston. I'm SoCal born and bred, boy.
Apple Valley, shout out to them. My bad. You guys both currently live in the New England area. Did I say you guys were from Boston?
Yeah.
Maybe I should drink these steel reserves under a bridge next time. I don't know what I'm talking about. But what I was gonna ask is, dude, like the storyline, like Casey and I were talking last week. Like I heard you guys fucking hate Luka in that area, or not Luka, Kyrie in that area.
Abso-fucking-lutely we do.
Dude, I remember, and this is kind of not off topic, it's on topic, but kind of, going off the rails. Do you guys remember when I want to say it was Kyrie's like 4th game with the Celtics, and they were playing Milwaukee. It was when Milwaukee was doing the throwback unis and the throwback court.
100%. Are you talking about the
Go
ahead. I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
The spin move?
Yeah.
Dude, oh my God. I probably lost that bet, but I had money on that game. I was watching that shit live, dude, and he just like went over and just, dude, Kyrie I had a friend that said it when Kyrie was in college, and he said Kyrie was born to play the game of basketball. If we're talking about skilled players, like
he's up there with the best of all time when it comes to just straight up basketball skills.
Wait, what'd you say, Justin? I'm sorry.
He's easily one of the best point guards to ever grace the court, ever.
No question.
Top 5.
No question.
It's like, and that's what's going to make it so great. Like, we have great individual talents. We have storylines. We have guys like Drew Holiday and, X Factors. Like, there's so much compelling shit about this series. And, I'm not a fool to think that American Airlines Center is going to be more hostile than TD Garden during the finals. But that shit gets loud, bro. When they had that.
Of course it does.
And Clippers beat them that game, but dude, they were down by 30, and the fans were still going ape shit. Like it's gonna be crazy, bro. Like I have the thing I love about the playoffs, man, is like I know you guys. We all watch the game all year, and we all kind of joke about, these people don't watch until the final. That's what makes it great, bro. I mean, with the fucking hockey, bro, people don't even acknowledge the Golden Knights exist till they play their first playoff game. But like, I have a friend from Texas, and she's. What the fuck does MFFL mean? Mavs fan for life? Whatever. Shout out her. I work with her. But yeah, it's like people that just everybody's into it, man. And I've said it before. The NBA, it's like
Hey, your mic's cutting out, brother.
Oh, sorry about that. Tyler, man, I need you to give me one more of your singing mics. But no, it's like every series is a different story, and we'll be really fortunate if we can have this series not be a blowout. Like, let's at least get some entertaining basketball. Like, let's come on to this show, because by next Tuesday we'll have passed what? I mean, that might be the night
we'll be on to game 3.
Well, I was gonna say game 3 might be that night. I don't know if it's Wednesday night, but we'll be 2 games in by the next time we do a show. Hopefully, if I don't procrastinate, I actually get it uploaded in time. I'm ready, man. But we're definitely at it. We still got a little bit of time to go left in this show. We're about halfway through, but I want to talk some football, man. I know Casey has been itching like a fucking crackhead to talk some football. I know Justin is a little less optimistic about his team, but better days are coming. What's your guys' biggest takeaway from your respective team from the offense?
I'll let Justin go first.
What was the question? Couldn't quite hear you because your mic keeps cutting out.
Is it still doing that? If so, I'll put my headset on. Is it still cutting out?
Now. That's better now.
Okay, I think I was just kind of all over the place. I apologize, but what is your biggest what's your biggest takeaway from what your team has done thus far in the 2024 offseason?
The bonding with Drake May with his receiving core, with the new incoming receiving core. There was talk that back when Brady was still around that he wouldn't engage with his receivers. He would be away from organized team activities, OTAs, and he'd be doing his own thing in Los Angeles, where he did his own throwing sessions, like with Edelman and such. You can kind of get away with it as an established veteran, but you really can't get away with that when you're brand new to the league. And with so much turnover that the Patriots have right now, it's good to see that that Drake May is already starting to build that rapport with his receivers, getting the no-look passes, which were like fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever saw any of the clips of it, but he's slinging it.
No,
So,
I agree.
I mean, I'm not expecting anything to go crazy this year in terms of that, obviously, but I'm encouraged.
Let me ask you, are you expecting a playoff run this season, or are you thinking that's still a year or two away?
That's still a year or two away, but I'm expecting them to improve. If maybe not in the actual standings, optics.
No, that's fair, because you can tell if your team's getting better, even if the record doesn't indicate it.
Yeah. I want the optics to look better. I don't want them to look like the Matt Patricia run left, run middle, pass short of the six, punt, which was every freaking drive.
No, that's fair, and that's a good realistic expectation for them.
I want them to look to not necessarily to. I mean, if we're reflecting the standings, fantastic. I don't expect it to, but if they can, fantastic. That's great. That's just brownie points.
See, when it comes to a rookie quarterback like that, especially with the Drake May, I think your expectations are spot on. Like, you don't necessarily have to go out and Drake May doesn't have to go out and be Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like be Aaron Rodgers or Josh Allen right off the gate. No. But I mean, I expect him, and he has been showing that he's in the facility working, trying to improve, trying to get better. So, yeah.
What about you, Ian? What's your expectations for the Rams this year?
Yeah, so, I mean, to be completely honest with you, man, for the first 2 months of the offseason, it kept feeling like a bad dream. Aaron Donald retired. People kept having to revive me. Actually, talking to a customer at work, I'm like, we're going to be great. Like, yeah, you guys just lost Donald. I was like, oh, fuck, yeah, you're right, we did. Damn.
No, we suck again.
I'm not too worried. Like, I like picking up Jared Verse. I like being able to get some, get some new guys in there. Hopefully, anchor the defense moving forward. But like for years down the road. But I think we'll be fine, man. I mean, obviously, you guys kind of clown me, rightfully so, for not really clown me, but for drastically underestimating my Rams. You guys definitely made that a point to bring up. We're gonna go into the season healthy. Cooper Kupp is going to go into the season healthy. Puka Nacua, maybe he is a sophomore slump, but we're going to have a healthy Cooper Kupp. But we're in the same division as the 49ers, so I think the first 7 weeks of the season, first 6-7 weeks of the season are going to be crucial. If I had to give an early prediction, I don't know, man. We have some pretty tough games. We open the season, I want to say, in Detroit. I think it's in Detroit. I know we opened the season with Detroit, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is there. I can double check, but I'm pretty optimistic, man. I like the team that we have still. I like the weapons that we have offensively. I think we're gonna be good. I don't have anything crazy, Wait, what'd you say?
I'm gonna make a quick hot take here. San Francisco will miss the playoffs this year.
What the fuck did you just say?
I think San Francisco's going to miss the playoffs.
So, did you wake up this morning and was like, I didn't smoke enough crack yesterday?
Hey, Casey,
I think the rest of the NFC is catching up to San Francisco, is my point.
Let me handle this. Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, to be honest with you, you've had what did you say last year? Well, I think you said last year the Bills were going to miss the playoffs.
He did say that last
year. Which
year.
Looked really, really good until the Bills caught fucking fire in the set. So I'm not going to doubt Coach Dunks. I mean, even when you are off on your predictions, you're never really far off. So, and I respect your sports knowledge, but I mean, I don't know, man. That's a very that's
That's boiling hot. I know it's boiling hot. I think the league is catching up to Brock Purdy, and he's not going to. I mean, it's just a feeling.
I've heard so much rumbling about him in the offseason, about him socially, how he deals with blah 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 blah. Like, And he just took the team to the Super Bowl. Like, the fans in San Francisco, they know that it's going to come to a point to where he's going to stop being the lovable Mr. Irrelevant, and they're going to just be like, yo, get the fucking guy out of here. He just took it to the Super Bowl. But, I mean, wow, let them lose a couple of close games in the middle of the season. Let them have even a mid-season struggle. See if Brock Purdy isn't.
They lost 3 in a row at one point last year, and they were fine.
Yeah. Well, right, for sure. I mean, it was Cincinnati, and then they lost a game to
Minnesota.
Minnesota, Monday night, Cincinnati, in San Francisco, and there was another game too, I think. Or I think it was Cleveland. Oh, I think Cleveland was their first loss. Am I correct? I believe so.
Yes.
Wow. What? So I know you said the rest of the NFC is catching up, but I mean, I have a question for Justin. Do you really think they're not going to get out of the NFC? I mean, at least the wild card. I mean, you don't think they're going to win at least? You don't think they're going to sweep Arizona and Seattle next year?
I think the Rams have a legitimate. The Rams and the Seahawks have a chance to push them. The Cardinals, no. The Rams have the best chance to have of the four. The Rams have the best chance in the division. Yes, they're going to take a bit of a step back defensively, but I think, like you were saying, they have a healthy Puka Nacua, a healthy Cooper Kupp, healthy Matthew Stafford. And I think that San Francisco is going to struggle with the tiebreaker because you've got the Packers, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Eagles, and then you maybe throw in the Vikings, depending on how J.J. McCarthy hangs in. And you can't
I don't think McCarthy is going to be the starter this season.
But you also can't count out Atlanta now.
Atlanta has Kirk Cousins.
They also have Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts. And they don't have Arthur, whatever his face is, coaching.
Arthur Blank?
Thank you.
Arthur Blank is the manager, no? Or the owner, no?
Yes, he's the owner.
You're talking about, what's the fuck? Oh, no, I know what you're talking about.
Arthur Smith.
Thank you.
There you go. I was like, Arthur Blank, he's the motherfucker that looks like he's a real-life Monopoly character. Arthur Smith, the one that went off at the end of last year, yeah.
I just think that there's going to be enough competition within the NFC that if San Francisco struggles in the West, they may be on the outside looking in.
I can't see that happening. They're too defensively talented. Like, for one, you can say, oh, they're going to figure out Brock Purdy. Sure. But when they do that, all he's going to do is be like, here, Christian, run it for 150 yards and catch 2 screens and take him 60 yards this game. Like, Christian McCaffrey's
he's injury prone. He's not getting.
He wasn't Carolina. He hasn't really had any injuries in San Francisco. He's been fine.
I picked McCaffrey 2 years, or I don't know if it was 2 years in a row. I picked him number 1 overall in the whole draft.
That's smart.
Got hurt both fucking years, bro. And then this year I don't pick him because I'm leaving him alone, and he becomes white Jesus. I don't know.
It's just a feeling. Take it for what it is.
Thank God the show's recorded. We're going to have to play this back when San Francisco wins the 1 seed.
There. I'm just saying, if Nostradamus has spoken, Nostradamus has spoken.
I don't think this is going to happen, but I believe it when I say it like this. I think the 49ers have a better chance to go undefeated than they do to miss the playoffs.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of hard. I mean, at least getting, 3 wild card spots in the playoffs now? I think you make very valid points for the other teams. It's just, it'd be hard pressed to find me, really betting on them to miss the playoff. But to be honest with you, we've seen NFL, the NFL, you just never know. The new season starts and we might be having a different conversation come week 4 of the season, but it's very hard.
Absolutely could be.
You watch McCaffrey gets hurt week 1, it's like, and you come back and talk to me.
Okay, if McCaffrey goes out with a season-ending injury, all bets are off. No question there.
Yeah.
So you think? Well, they kind of switching the attention back onto Casey. So you think that they can't even win a wild? Well, You think they have, I guess, they're more likely to miss not more likely to miss the playoffs, obviously, but you think that they still they become a legitimate missing the playoffs team with McCaffrey? Without McCaffrey, sorry.
Yes.
With that defense, though?
I think, because you still need to be able to score. I think he's that pivotal as far as their offensive scheme is determined. I think absolutely that you need Christian McCaffrey in order to have a successful season. If they miss McCaffrey, I could see them still making a wild card.
I see him stumbling into number 7, yeah.
I guess that all depends as well as to the development improvement of Brock Purdy too, I guess. But I just can't see the 49ers missing the playoffs, man.
So, and the 49ers, and I think that it's only right to transition to the team they played in the Super Bowl. How do you feel about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? How do you guys think they're going to do next year? They might be the only team to ever three-peat.
Y'all haven't even asked me about the Cowboys yet. I'm surprised.
Oh, my God, we haven't. Well, how do you feel about your Cowboys, bro? I'm sorry.
Not much.
Is it going to be one of those things to where, you're confident they have a good chance to, look dominant in the regular season, and then it's, you're not going to believe them when it comes? Dude, I feel bad for you, man.
I know either of you feel that's wrong?
Oh, no, not at all. You're totally justified in that thought process. I'm just saying, do you, and I know we had the conversation a little bit last year, and I'm glad that we actually committed to doing a show this long, so I'm glad I can ask you the follow-up now. Are you starting to feel about them like you're feeling with the Celtics, to where I don't care what we do in the regular season? I don't.
100%. 100% I feel that way about them now. It's not even – here's the thing, right? I'm a very emotional man when it comes to my teams, okay? I get hot and cold about my teams. So when they are on and when I am watching them, I'm going to get heated. It just I can't. It's who I am, okay? But as far as my expectations of them, they need to prove it differently to me before I think it's going to be anything different. Is it going to change how I root for them? No. I'm going to go haywire when the Cowboys win a big game this year. You're going to hear me screaming all the way from Vegas, Mr. Blackwell. But I think Dallas is going to have a very solid regular season and go out in the wild card or divisional round. Nothing they do until they prove me otherwise is going to change what I think about that. I don't care if they go 14-2.
I have so much faith in them every year, bro, because they look so – when Dallas looks good, it's yo. But then it's how do you –
And who does that remind you of, Ian?
Clippers?
No, the Celtics, you damn fool.
I'm retarded. Excuse me, I'm retarded. Let me show you how things work down here.
When they are on – how many times have you said those exact words about the Celtics?
More than I could count.
Isn't it ironic that those are my two favorite teams?
It is a little bit ironic.
Some would call you a hopeless romantic when it comes to
that. My two favorite teams in sports history that I have a deep-rooted love for break my heart every fucking year.
Dude, and it wasn't even until the show a couple of weeks ago that I really was able to grasp that you haven't seen your team win a championship until you were since you were fucked up off that Orloff vodka and you woke up at 2:30 to watch the game. In all honesty, man, Justin, he's spoiled. He's seen the Red Sox win 20. Because he's older than both of us. I'm not gonna. I don't know how much older you are than both of us, but you are older than both of us. You saw the Red Sox win. I know you remember 04 because I'm younger than you, and I remember 04.
I know
you remember 07 against the Rockies. I know you remember 2013 against the Cardinals. I was in Oregon at that time. I know you remember 2018 against the Dodgers. The Patriots, Justin.
True story about the Dodgers series. My mom got tickets to the Dodgers. She was getting offered tickets to go to one of the World Series games against the Dodgers. She got to one. I said, "Mom, if you have a choice, go to Game 6." go to Game 6. It's over in 6. What do y'all know? She got it. She was there.
That's amazing.
I thought it was over in.
Was it 5? Was it 5?
No. I think Justin's right. I think it was 6 because my friend, shout out Dylan. He had tickets to that marathon game, that 18-inning game. I think you guys might have won, or the Dodgers might have won 2. But no, I think you're right, Justin. I think that that was a game she could have gone to because Machado struck out looking, and it was at Dodger Stadium. I would have remembered if it was in Boston and the crowd going. I'm pretty sure it was at Dodger.
The funny part about it is I won tickets to go to the 13th series. I was at Game 2. But I knew going into the series, it was going to go 6 as well. But you're not when you're buying tickets, when you win some seats to get the tickets, you're not guaranteed to get the game, obviously. You're only guaranteed to be able to buy the tickets for a game that is at that stadium. So I bought Game 2 tickets because I was guaranteed Game 2.
Yeah.
Wait, what'd you say? I kind of got confused because I'm retarded. What'd you say?
So 2013 World Series, I won a sweepstakes to get tickets to the series that the Sox won against the Cardinals. When you win that sweepstakes with Major League Baseball, you have to sign in to Major League Baseball to then purchase tickets for the games that you want for a game that you want to purchase tickets for. You could purchase any ticket for for example, Boston, the home team. You could purchase tickets for it was game
1, 2, 5, and 7.
1, 2, 5, and 7, right? No, 1, 2, 6, and 7.
Oh, they do 2, 2, 1, 1, 1.
They did 2, 3. They did 2, 3,
2, 3, 2.
So the Dodger series was Game 5.
Damn. You did the right thing though, because you took the ticket that you guaranteed had to be able to go to the game to.
Exactly, but I
Wait,
knew
did you go?
But I knew that in my heart of hearts, I knew the series was going to end in 6. I was right.
Wait, Cardinals Red Sox, right? That went 6.
Yep, that went 6. That was the Middlebrook interference series.
Yeah, it should have been over in 5.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember I was in Oregon at the time. Funny thing about the sweepstakes, the 2010 NBA Finals, which you guys both remember quite well, unfortunately. My mom was like one call, like she was like I was at Heritage in Menifee at the time. Justin knows where Menifee is. Shout out California. But she was like, "Oh my goodness, I tried to get you tickets for Game 1 to the NBA Finals, Celtics Lakers, and I was one caller away." I'm like, "Mom, you're a failure."
Now, this is kind of off topic here, but it's because you mentioned baseball, and it's something that you and I kind of touched on last episode, Ian, when we're talking about like the most devoted fans, right? And so this is something that I wanted to ask Justin, because Justin's more of a baseball fan than you or I. You're more of a baseball fan than me, Ian, but
Fuck yeah.
Justin's more of a baseball fan than either one of us. And Justin is the first one to say baseball was his first love for a sport, right?
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
Justin, what was it directly about baseball that you linked with? Because when it comes to Ian and I, his favorite sport's basketball, mine's football. We both kind of had our stories as to what was it that had it. And for you, as you've gotten older, is baseball still like your main primary sport that's your favorite? And what made you first originally fall in love with baseball?
Baseball was the first organized team sport I ever played when I was a kid. So that's where it started.
Okay.
And then, but conveniently, because we grew up watching baseball, but I didn't really get it. But my first game was California Angels against the Red Sox. And we would go to the Angels games every single year because going back to the 70s and 80s, the Red Sox typically would trade off their best players to California. So Fred Lynn, there's a whole bunch of different players that would end up, Rick Burleson, they would all end up in California with the Angels. So my parents would always go to the Angels games because the Red Sox players, who they wouldn't be able to see because they were living in California then, would be there in Anaheim. So my earliest baseball memory is going to a Red Sox California Angels game, the Red Sox winning 14-3. And I just remember being just blown away watching the game.
Okay.
And I was just hooked.
So to this day,
Like, if you had to pick one of your teams to win the championship, would it still be the Red Sox?
Probably.
Okay, that's fair.
True story. I will post this in the Facebook group. So shout out to the Facebook Mixed Reactions Facebook post. I will post a photo. I was also fortunate because there was a coach for the University of Maine who was affiliated with the Red Sox when they won the 13 series. I was able to take a photo with the 04, 08, and 13 trophies.
That's amazing.
So shout out to that. You guys will see that soon. I'll get that posted later this week.
Okay. You know what? And wait. You know what? I totally lost my. Fuck. You know what?
Stop with the Steel Reserve under the bridge, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. You don't have to tell me how old you are, but who was the president when you were born? California Angels, like you were probably like a grown ass man when Angels in the Outfield came out. God damn.
Well, Joseph Gordon-Levitt and I were not too far from the same age. No.
Wait, you and Danny Glover?
In 1994, I was 5 years old.
Oh, okay. Oh man, you ain't even that motherfucking old. Yeah, see, that's
I turned 35 this year. I'm not that old.
The earliest memories I have of the Angel is when Bo Vaughn was playing there. I think his name was Bo Vaughn.
Mo Vaughn was my favorite player when I first started watching him. He was my favorite player.
That's cool.
He was like the David Ortiz before David Ortiz came around.
I was gonna say, but that, if I'm not mistaken, that was right after we had switched to Anaheim when we had the baby.
He came over to Anaheim, but he became the Anaheim Angels as opposed to the California Angels. Correct.
Right, because my first baseball team I played on when I was like 3, we had those baby blue Angel hats. Still my fucking.
And the peacock blue pinstripes.
Yeah, yep. Those were.
I remember.
My
Jim
Angels.
Evans, best outfielder they had before Mike Trout.
Oh, absolutely.
My Angels, man, like
Tim Salmon, Darren Erstad. Oh yeah, I remember.
I will say that, like, out of all of our favorite teams, I have 2 of my teams are 2 of the most hopeless teams: the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Which I mean,
those are pretty hopeless.
They're hopeless, at least now.
Dude, like the Ducks started out last season so good, bro. Like, I really want the Ducks to play in the fucking playoffs here in Vegas, bro. You're a Ducks fan? I had a couple friends like, I was a Blackhawks fan before I liked the Golden Knights. The Ducks are the only reason, in the words of Al Michaels, that I know the difference between well, he didn't say this exactly, but I know the difference between a blue line and a clothesline. Like, John Sebastian Jaguar getting jiggy with it. Like, I don't watch hockey nearly as much as I used to. I watch a lot of Maine hockey. Shout out Black Fans. But that was my team, man. Like the Ducks, like
Korea, Solani, Niedermeyer, Ruslan Saleh,
Peter Sikora. Who else was on that fucking team? Fuck was the other guys?
Corey Perry.
Wait, what was the last guy you said?
Corey Perry.
Yeah, Corey Perry. There was another dude. He scored. I watched a video the other day of our 5 overtime game with the Stars, bro. Because 2003 when we, and I'm kind of getting off topic. We're definitely gonna talk a little bit more basketball before we get off the show. But when I was, because 2003 is when we went to the finals. That's right around the time that I remember coherently understanding sports. I think you guys remember that age to where you knew sports existed versus you knew when your team was going to the first round. Like when you really understood.
Yeah.
The Ducks, like the first time I really remember, I remember the Angels winning the World Series. I was watching the game with my dad. Shout out, Dad.
Thunder Sticks.
But I remember the Ducks being like the first team. Like we swept the Red Wings in the first round. The first game we went to Dallas in 5 overtimes, and then we beat them in 6, and then I think we came back and we swept the Wild, lost to the Devils, but. Like the Ducks, man. Like I like the Golden Knights, bro. Like I want them to do well. They're in Vegas. The Vegas has the Raiders. An NFL team, it doesn't matter where you are. An NFL team is always going to be a huge deal. Vegas is a Golden Knights town, man. But fuck the Golden Knights if it comes to playing my Ducks. I will show up there in those ugly ass. Ever since they bought them from Disney, those fucking orange and fucking diarrhea, fucking brown, whatever fucking color they have. Like, I love.
No. You don't go in that orange crap. You go in the mallard, purple, and teal.
Why don't I just show up looking like fucking
no,
Charlie
fuck
Conway
no.
with Magic?
You go with the D3 Mighty Duck jerseys.
Same idea.
It is.
That's just the home of the away.
Logo, different color.
But
Yeah,
you
real
know,
quick before we get on to the question, because like you said, we kind of got to wrap the show up in a few minutes here. We still got to get to the question. You said we got to talk a little bit more hoops because obviously
sure.
NBA Finals they're happening this Thursday. Now, Ian, you got the Mavericks in 7. Justin, you got the Celtics in 6. I had the Celtics in 7. What could, if any, aside from injuries, I want to ask you guys this real quick. Aside from injuries, is there anything that could happen game 1 that would sway your opinion?
Game 1?
Game 1.
No,
aside from
injury notwithstanding, okay. It'd have to be like a flagrant 2 ejection source kind of thing and a suspension involvement.
Okay, that's fair. So I'll rephrase, nothing from a play standpoint, though.
Okay.
Like, you could see, say Dallas walks into Boston, the Garden game 1, wins by 35. Is that going to sway your opinion of Boston in 6?
It might push it to 7.
Okay.
But it's not gonna sway my pick of who I think is gonna win the series.
Okay. Yeah, I'm the same way as you.